Prepare for a righteous reckoning in the new season of the HBO original series, The Righteous Gemstones. When the spoiled gemstone children finally get their wish to take control of the church, they discover leadership is harder than they imagined, and that their extravagant lifestyle comes with a heavy price. Starring Danny McBride, John Goodman, Edie Patterson, and Adam Devine. Watch the all-new season of The Righteous Gemstones, streaming June 18th on Max. Subscription required. Visit max.com for details.
Looking for an adventure? Find yours in a Toyota. Like a Camry with stylish design and a reputation for reliability that can't be beat. Or go with a Corolla, both affordable and capable. With so many trims and features to choose from. Or check out the new Crown, presenting you with luxurious style and elegant amenities to make your day a breeze. No matter your adventure, Toyota has you covered. Visit buyatoyota.com for more. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Sports Daily on a Friday. Tommy Castor and Paul Savage in for Jacob Albrock today. Jad Chambers producing the show. The IHOP hotline is open, 869-1240. I think we're still trying to track down Sam Stevens. So once we get, we've got Sam on the line here, which is awesome. We're excited to welcome into Sports Daily PGA Tour golfer Sam Stevens, Wichita native, Cape and grad. Sam, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are y'all?
We're great. Welcome into Sports Daily. Congratulations, by the way, qualifying for the U.S. Open earlier this week. 2 bogey-free rounds of 65 and 62. You've got that spot into the 123rd U.S. Open next week at Los Angeles Country Club. Walk us through your qualifying rounds. 2 really good rounds of golf, bogey-free rounds, shooting into the low and mid-60s. What was that like for you earlier this week?
Yeah, so I was up in Springfield, Ohio, and I actually made it through into the U.S. Open last year at the same course. So
right.
It's a place that I've been to a decent amount and pretty comfortable with, and it's a little bit tricky. So I felt like I had a little bit of a leg up on the guys that hadn't been there before. So I was just able to get out there and got off to a pretty good start. And that can be it's 36 holes in one day, so it can be kind of a long and stressful day. But I was just kind of playing good the whole time, and it was kind of inside the cut line the whole time. So there was never, there wasn't as much pressure as last year where I was kind of like right on the cut all day, just battling for every shot. But this year, it's just one of those days where it all kind of came together and it was easy. Sometimes golf is easy, not very often, but I was glad that it was easy on Monday.
One of the things that I've just got to ask, because your family is golf royalty in the city of Wichita, but I've got to ask, who's going to be on your bag in the U.S. Open? Because I know that your grandfather, Johnny Stevens, who's the patriarch of the golf Stevens family, has sometimes, done your bag work. And, gosh, I could just imagine how valuable he would be at the U.S. Open advising you what to do. Is he on your bag this coming weekend?
No, so I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the guy that I've been using this year out on the PGA Tour. He's a buddy of mine who played some college golf and has done some caddying in his day. But my family's going to be out there. I'm not sure if my grandpa's going to come. He came up to New York for the PGA Championship a couple weeks ago when I played up there. But my dad and mom and wife, everyone's coming out, so we'll have the whole Stevens crew out there. But I'm not sure I want him on the bag. That might not go so well for either of us.
Okay, I got you.
Hey, Sam, let's talk a little bit about what the strategy typically is for a U.S. Open. Of course, historically, U.S. Open course setups are extremely difficult with, a lot of times really narrow fairways, really thick and deep rough, tucked pins, all of that. I mean, it is the hardest test typically when it comes to a major. What's the strategy? I mean, is it as simple as just try to hit as many fairways as possible, stay out of the rough, and try to get on the green in regulation? Or how do you try to navigate a course like Los Angeles Country Club?
Yeah, I mean, getting the ball in the fairway is definitely a good place to start. But like as you said, I mean, just over the course of the week, you're going to have those holes where you're way out of position, or you're chipping out, or you can get in some crazy spots around the greens, I would assume. I've never been out to LACC, but everything I've heard is that it's going to be an awesome Open. But, over 72 holes, you're going to find yourself in some tough spots. And I think, the guys that are going to play well next week are the guys that kind of, when those situations come up, they don't panic. They don't try and force anything, but you have to stay so patient, when a course is playing firm and fast, and you got to wait for your opportunities. And, at a U.S. Open, you don't get very many opportunities, to make a birdie. So when you do get the ball on the fairway or up around the green around the green on a par 5, you got to take advantage. And then when you're out of position, you really just have to kind of, take it. And, a bogey doesn't kill you, especially when a course is playing really hard. Bogey's not bad, but those double bogeys add up a lot quicker. So, kind of minimizing the damage when you're out of position, and then, just try and take advantage when you get your opportunities.
You're going to be playing against some of the greatest golfers in the world, as a matter of fact. And how intimidating, if it is intimidating, I got a feeling it's probably not, but is it intimidating? Is it thrilling? Does it lift your game when you play against some of the greatest names in the world of golf? And they're going to be right there with you, and everybody starts with 0. What's that? What effect does that have to your golf game when you're playing against those guys? You see that guy on the tee box says, "Hey, I know that guy." What's that do to you? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting, and obviously, I've been playing golf since I was a little kid, and it's always been my dream to play on the PGA Tour and to play against the best players in the world, and to be able to do it at a major championship is really cool. You're walking down the range, and it's Brooks Koepka and Rory McIlroy and you name them, or John Rahm, Scotty Scheffler. So it's a cool opportunity, and fortunately over the last 5 or 10 years going to school at Oklahoma State, I got to play against a lot of those guys in college, and so it's kind of cool to see them out there. And I would say that at this point I still got some work to do to get my skills to where I can compete with those guys week in and week out. But I feel like I'm getting better every year, and there's no reason why if I go play really well that I can't hang with those guys.
Talking to Sam Stevens here on Sports Daily, PGA Tour golfer, Wichita native, Cape and Mount Carmel grad, here on the IHOP hotline with us today. And Sam, you've had a string of success. You've made 4 straight cuts in PGA events that you've played in: the Wells Fargo, the Byron Nelson, of course, the PGA Championship, and the Charles Schwab Challenge. Of course, going back to when you played in the Valero Texas Open, you finished in 2nd place. Watch that. That was fun. I mean, you were hanging in there. You were right there. But you've had this string of successful starts on the PGA Tour. Of course, next weekend is the U.S. Open. It's a major. But at what point does it do you start thinking about, okay, what is it going to take to break through and win, whether it's a major or a regular PGA Tour event? Because I think you're right there. And to your point, you've got the game to be able to hang with these guys and beat them. So what's your mentality when you enter into a major like the U.S. Open or even a regular tour event? Okay, how do we actually break through and win this tournament?
Well, kind of like I was saying earlier, I don't think it's something that you can just sit there and try to do. You kind of have to let the opportunities come. And I've talked to some people, after the Valero when I finished 2nd, and everyone was, telling me that I was doing a great job. But I got some advice that said the best way to win on tour is, to stay on tour and give yourself as many opportunities as possible. So
right.
I don't know if that's, next week or next month. I feel like my game is good and that if I played well, I could win. But golf is just kind of a funny game. It's not like basketball where 50% of the people are going to win, at a given game. It's one of those deals where, you might play great one week and finish, 10th, and then you might not feel that good about your game the next week and you might go out and win. It's just kind of a funny game like that. But I think that, like I said, I've been getting better and I'm out at Crestview right now getting a little work in for next week. And that's all you can do. You put the time in and you show up to the event and you got to let it fly and kind of see where you finish.
Well, I love the game of golf but one of the things I love about the game of golf, there's so many guys that are good. I mean, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, super good. Lots of them. But the difference of golf to me sometimes appears to be a mental thing. It's mental. And I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to be your psychological coach for just a moment or two and tell you how to get over these rough ideas. Do you mind if I give you a little advice, Sam? Is that okay with you?
I'm not gonna pay you, but you can go ahead and give me some advice.
Okay. Well, here, next time you're facing that shot, oh my gosh, how did I get myself into this? I want you to stop and think to yourself, my name is Stevens. I'm from the Stevens golf family in Wichita, Kansas. My grandfather would say there's not a shot in the world I can't make, and I'm going to make this shot. That's my psychology for you. What is your psychology going into this? I mean, how big is the mental aspect to a tournament like the U.S. Open? Because to me, I think everybody's good, but it's those guys that have the ability to be mentally tough and figure this stuff out that end up winning and placing in the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, I mean, you can even look back at the PGA Championship a couple weeks ago and the PGA Pro, Michael Block. You know, people wouldn't have thought that he necessarily had all the skills he needed to compete on a course like that, but he was out there, you know, playing against the best players in the world. And I think, you know, he had a good perspective about just being happy to be there and you know, just trying to hit the best shot he could on every shot. And I think that, I think that the higher up you get in anything, whether it's, you know, business or sports, a lot of it becomes just, you know, how can you get a little better? And a lot of it's just on the mental side of that stuff, you know, just being able to be grateful for what you have and to be able in a high pressure situation to just go out there and perform and not really worry too much about the consequences. And so I think next week will definitely be a test of that. But, you know, this will be, you know, my second major this year, third in the last year. So, you know, I'm getting a little more used to it. There's definitely something a little different about the majors, but I'm excited, and hopefully I won't be as nervous as I have been in the past.
Real quick, did you like my advice though?
Yeah, absolutely. You should start charging for that.
Oh, yeah, I think I might start right now. What do you think?
He'll send you a bill. He'll send you a bill to pay. Hey, Sam, so not only is the U.S. Open next week, but another tournament that I know that is you know, close to your heart and to mine and to Wichita in general, the Wichita Open out at Crestview next weekend on the Corn Ferry Tour. I know obviously you're not playing in it because you've got a bigger tournament to play in the U.S. Open, but talk a little bit about your experience out at Crestview with the Wichita Open, what that tournament on the Corn Ferry Tour means to golfers at that level and to just the community in general.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they've been having this event out here for a long time. I don't know exactly what year they started having it, but Crestview does an awesome job of, you know, accommodating the players and the fans. You know, I think last year it's probably one of the most well attended events, and you know they get the party going on number 17 out here, and it's a ton of fun. I've never gotten to play in the event, but I used to come out in high school all the time and watch it, high school and college.
Sure.
And I mean, from, you know, a player on the Corn Ferry's perspective, every week is just so important, you know. And so I think that you know, all the best players that are playing the Corn Ferry Tour this year are going to be here this week because, you know, if you're not on the tour, you just got to keep plugging away. So there's going to be a lot of great guys coming out and playing, and yeah, like I said, there's always a bunch of people out here watching. So it's one of the most fun events, I think, on the Corn Ferry Tour to watch and to play in. So, and Crestview's looking good. They've gotten a little bit of rain the last week, and course is looking green and lush, and hopefully it's an awesome week for everybody.
You know, while I got you, I got to ask this one question. I'm wanting some advice from you. A lot of young men and women playing golf in the Wichita area who are going to hear this interview from you. What do you suggest to them? What advice do you have to them to get to the top of their game, to become the best golfer that they can be? What would you tell these young people?
Well, you know, it's different for everyone, but, you know, when I was growing up, I was lucky enough to have, you know, some friends that were playing, and we had a great team at Capon, and we were all real close, and just being able to get out and, you know, enjoy it with your buddies. And, you know, during the summertime especially, you can just come out here and just hang out all day. And I just remember, you know, playing 18 and then maybe going to the pool and then hanging out and going back out and practicing. And you mean, golf's just one of those sports. It's not like basketball or football where after 2 or 3 hours you're just dog tired. You know, you can spend all day out here at the golf course. And I think that for me, that was what kind of helped me find my game a little bit. Just spending the hours and just enjoying it. Going out and playing with your buddies and having a bunch of fun and playing for a Coke or for a cheeseburger or whatever it is when you're a kid that gets you going. But it's an awesome game. And yeah, I mean, I know out here at Crestview, Trent Roman, he does a great job with the juniors, and they're having junior golf today. There's a ton of them out here, and I know the same at Wichita Country Club and at the First Tee. There's a ton of interest to golf in Wichita, and I think that's great. And hopefully there's some good players coming up in the next 5-10 years.
Well, Sam, before we let you go, we would be remiss to not at least ask you about it. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it or not, but obviously a monumental change in the world of golf this week with the PGA Tour, Live Golf, all of that, the merger, all of that's been going on with professional golf. A couple of days removed from it. Would just love to get your thoughts, if you have any, on the entire situation and kind of from your perspective, what you see going on in the world of golf with that merger with the PGA Tour, the PIF, the DP World Tour, all of that.
Yeah, I think I've got several thoughts on it, but I do think that it's great that at least there's not even a set timeline for when the guys can come back from Live or if they're going to come back. I don't even know exactly all the details, but I think it will be good when all the best players are playing at the same place again. I think that's golf's, main attraction is that, in basketball, you've got Steph Curry and LeBron, but, they only play each other a couple times a season, or whoever it is. Yeah. And golf, you get the top 10 players in the world or top 20 players in the world playing together 20, 30 times a year, It's like that's cool. And so hopefully, over the next however long it takes to kind of reintegrate back in, hopefully that's something that can happen. And I think that's good as far as what it's going to look like, and if it's going to be look more like Live does or more like the PGA Tour does. I don't even know. I mean, it's all going to be speculation for the next 6 months. It's incredible to me that they kept it as quiet as they did. I mean, literally nobody knew. I was watching Rory McIlroy's interview from the Canadian Open, and he found out an hour and a half before I found out. You'd think that he would be finding out before everybody, but it's incredible that they kept it as quiet as they did. But we'll see what happens. It's all speculation until something actually goes down. And I've heard that there's some legal stuff, just anti competitive. Like if everyone joins up, they might not even be able to pass it. So I honestly don't know what's going to happen, but hopefully all the best players are playing together again soon.
So as a player, just a quick follow up on that, as a player, I feel like I watched the Golf Channel basically all day on Tuesday. I don't think they took a commercial break all day because they were just talking about everything going on, and just, all of the reactions. I saw it on Twitter from guys like Mackenzie Hughes and Wesley Bryan and others, really, understandably upset about all of this. From a player's perspective, where did you land on that? I mean, was it something, I'm sure that the shock level was there, but was there, a sense of, feeling betrayed, or how did you feel when all of that came down?
Yeah, like I said, it was incredible that they kept it as quiet as they did. I think that, yeah, I honestly just don't know enough about what's going on.
Sure, but
I know that Jay Monahan's trying to do what's best for the tour. I don't know that I necessarily agree with what he thinks is best, but. I don't know if y'all saw it. You probably didn't, but Maverick McNeely, who's a player out on tour, he's been asking a lot of pretty good questions about the whole thing, and he's a smart guy. Went to Stanford, and he's kind of advising everyone. I don't know if he's the leader of us now, but he's kind of telling everyone just to hang tight and see what happens over the next 6 months or a year, because there's so much information like about how it went down, why it went down, why this is the best case. Or if it's the best case, we just won't know until it all plays itself out. So, but I don't feel betrayed. I just go out and play golf, sure. And hopefully it's against the best players in the world. But I don't get too caught up in it. But we'll just have to see what happens. I'm sorry, I don't have anything better than that.
No, that's fine. I wanted to get the perspective of a current player. And you mentioned playing against the best players in the world. You'll do that next weekend in LA at the US Open. And so we wish you the best of luck out there at the US Open. Sam, hopefully we can do this again. Maybe we'll have you on and we can be talking about a major championship victory from you. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we appreciate your time, Sam. Thanks for joining the show and good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
All right, that's Sam Stevens, Wichita native and PGA Tour golfer right here on Sports Daily. Really appreciate his time, Paul, and obviously wishing him the best of luck at the U.S. Open next week. Tough course, tough matchup, tough competitors, all of that. That's what makes the U.S. Open so great, and so we're fortunate to have Paul here, or to have Sam here on the show, and great interview from him for sure.
It was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Sounds good. If you missed any of that interview, make sure to go to the free Odyssey app or kfhradio.com and you can listen to it right there. We're going to come back. Our final full segment of the program is on the way next on Sports Daily.